Alright, hello and welcome back to Pisto Plays Magic the Gathering Arena Brawl session. We have IYMRITH Desert Doom, a 5 mana 5/5 flyer. He has Ward 4 as long as he's untapped. So your opponents have to pay 4 life, or 4 mana, or else a spell is countered or an ability is countered that targets IYMRITH, and whenever it deals damage to a player, draw a card. And if you have fewer than 3 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. So we're going to be playing kind of a tempo-y blue style of deck. We got a decent amount of creatures and a few tempo spells. All right, we're going to kind of briefly go over each card and kind of why I put it in the deck, and then we'll get into some games. We have Ghostly Pilferer. It draws you a card. You can get in as an unblockable creature if you discard a card, and whenever your opponent casts a spell from not in their hand, whether it's Foretold or it's their commander, or however they cast it when it's not out in your hand, you get to draw a card. Jeskai Elder, another one of those draw card spells. It has prowess, so it gets a little bit bigger. You can use your tricks to make it bigger, and if you draw a card when you deal damage, you get to discard a card. So a little bit of filtering there on a creature. Thieving Skydiver steals artifacts. Yon T Malison is a dungeon diver. It gets to when it attacks alone, it can't be blocked, and you get some value from the different dungeons. We're probably going into the Mad Mage or the Lost Mine and Pandelver because they are just a little more value-y. Unless we're really super, if we're on the aggro plan, then we'll go into the Tomb of Annihilation. We have Hypnotic Sprite. Being able to counter something with converted mana cost 3 or less and then have a 2/1 flyer afterwards is very good in a mono blue deck. We have Crashing Drawbridge. This is a little more on the aggressive side, giving everything or all your creatures haste when they enter the battlefield. It's also a good early blocker, and it costs 2 generic mana, so you can really cast it for any of the mana in our deck. Cloud Concealer enters battlefield, draw a card. We have a small Thassa Deep Dwelling package in the deck. Cloud Concealer is one of them. Cosma, God of the Voyage, and the Omen Keel. This deck actually plays the Omen Keel from time to time, and being able to exile cards from the top of your opponent's library and play any land exiled is very good. It's kind of like helping mono blue hit their land drops. And then Cosma, every time you hit a land drop, you get to put a counter on it if it is in exile, and then it comes into play with 1/1 counters, and you draw that many cards equal to the number of 1/1 counters on it. So it's just a general all-around good card, and if you don't exile it, it is a pretty solid ground creature to get in the way. Cross Trickster, another one of those cards for Thassa. Taps a creature and it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step, and it has flying, so it gets through fairly easily. Baron Tolarian Archmage, very good tempo creature, very good with Thassa there again, being returning a creature or a planeswalker to its owner's hand. You can also return one of your creatures or planeswalkers, and if you do, you get to draw a card. Brazen Borrower, very good tempo card. You can return a permanent to or non-land permanent to an opponent's hand, and then it's a 3/1 flyer that can't block, but it attacks really well. Kalf, Beloved of the Sea. It has power equal to your devotion to blue, so it's a very strong attacker in blue, and it also it gives your creatures ward 1, but only for the spell aspect of ward, not the ability aspect. Dragon Turtle, great stats for the 3 converted mana cost. It has flash, and it taps itself and your opponent's creature until their controller's next unstap step. So you want to do this on your opponent's turn, so that you go tap their thing, tap your dragon, your dragon stays untapped, their thing stays untapped, your dragon untaps, then their thing untaps. Razilax Lithiid Scholar. I didn't have this in the deck until recently. It's a 3 mana 3/2, and it basically can make it so that any creature that you control that becomes blocked, you can return it to your hand. So you can reuse some of your powerful ETB effects or your powerful adventure effects. And then whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. Nadir Kraken, whenever you draw a card, you put a 1/1 counter on it if you pay 1, and then you get a 1/1 blue Kraken creature token, so it scales in the late game. It's also a good early blocker. Like I said, Thassa Deep dwelling. Yeah. At the beginning of your end step, you get to exile a card to return to the battlefield, so you get to reuse enter the battlefield effects. You can also play a blue and 3 colorless to tap another creature, and it becomes a creature if you have devotion of 5 or more. We have Master of Winds, one of the cards that works well with Thassa. When it enters, you draw 2 cards, discard a card. It's flying, and it can become a 4/1 or a 1/4 when you cast an instant, sorcery, or wizard spell. So you can play around with it. It can be a good blocker, it can be an attacker. It has some cool things. Demi-Lich, 4 blue, but it costs 1 blue less to cast for each instant and sorcery card you cast this turn. So you can make it cost free if you can cast that many spells. And then when it attacks, you can target a card from your graveyard, and you can copy it and cast this spell. You exile that card, and then if it's in your graveyard, you can exile 4 instant and or sorcery cards from your graveyard in addition to paying its costs. So you could pay 4 mana, exile 4 instants and sorceries, and get it back from your graveyard. We have Fairy Formation to create little 1/1s and draw cards. Mind Flare to steal your opponent's creatures until Mind Flare leaves the battlefield. Soulblade Djinn, every time you cast a non-creature spell, your creatures get +1/+1, so it's a little bit of late game pump. And then Thrix, the Sudden Storm, is just a very solid beater, and it also makes a few of our cards in the deck cost a little bit less. All right, into some non-creature spells. We have Up, draw a card, Scry 1, draw a card. You get a little bit of filtering. Unsummon, return a creature to its owner's hand, so there's a little bit of tempo there. Depart the realm, this returns a non-land permanent, but you can also foretell it. Into the Royal, it's just return a non-land permanent. Kicker is you get to draw a card, so it can be a good early game, it can be a good later game. Negate, we want to stop our stuff from dying or being countered, so I thought negate was a good option. Unsubstantiate, this is also a good option. It can kind of time walk them if they cast a bigger spell by returning that spell to his hand, or you can return a creature that is already on the battlefield to their hand. You can come to a river, so this is another return non-land permanent to his owner's hand, but it also has +1/+0, and creature can be blocked this turn, so you could use this to get in the final points of damage late or return something earlier. Arcane Signet taps for a blue. Raven Form exiles an artifact or enchantment, which is one of the ways we deal with artifacts. Artifact or creature without countering it, and they get a 1/1 bird, but that's okay. Then we have Sod Coming, which counters a spell. We have You Find the Villain's Lair, counters a spell, but also draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards if you need it. Then we have the Heraldic Banner, which taps for a blue and makes all our creatures a little bit bigger. Behold the Multiverse, draws 2 cards, also scries 2, and it can be cast for 2 installments rather than the 4. Shark Typhoon is one of the best finishers in the deck, and Alrund's Epiphany is just Alrund's Epiphany. It's taking extra turns, making 1/1s is very powerful. This makes us sharks whenever we cast a non-creature spell, but we can also cycle it to make an XX blue creature token and draw a card. We have a bunch of lands. We have the castle, the new creature land, the Mystic Sanctuary, so the land that puts a spell or instant or sorcery on the top of our deck if we have 3 or more islands, 16 islands, Crawling Barrens, Faceless Haven, and Field of Ruin. All right, that's IYMRITH Desert Doom. Let's get into a couple of games. All right, we're up against Gruul. We have a hand that is very keepable. I think we're supposed to do this. We might, yeah, we're gonna do that. We can unsubstantiate whatever they play. Oh, they are on to a slow start. So maybe this isn't as aggro-y as it could be. I think we play this into this. Yeah, because then we can draw a card. When we draw a card, we can make a 1/1 from Gallia. It's okay if one or two things. Maybe one thing gets a little bit bigger. We can unsubstantiate it. We can also steal whatever they play. That's a good one to take. Decline this time. We will mind flare away your Rhada. Get in for 9. Lock trade there. That's fine. They gave this a pretty easy power and toughness to deal with. Don't have to worry about the snow fight card. You have to worry about, like, yeah, that kind of stuff. Do I pay? Sure. Do that at instant speed. Whenever you draw double block, eh? I'm gonna kill that. Sure. I want the land. I don't think I want the master one. Play the land. You have a big 3/3, but I got a bunch of blockers and got rid of your reach thing. Block there. I think we play this now. Or do we play this and then this and tap that down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's coming in hot pretty soon. We got blockers for days though. We got blockers for days. Here it comes. Doesn't come. Blocky, blocky. And a Kogla. Well, we can unsubstantiate Kogla. I don't think I attack with this now. Because, what is it? 6. They can't eat IYMRITH with Kogla. We'll just play this and pass. This crashing drawbridge is going to be scary. Let's do this first. Does not help us. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I think we're in troubles here. We're gonna do this. This gets to attack with impunity. But this also gets to keep things tapped down. I think we're going to attack this turn and unsubstantiate Ogla. Hacking with everything. This screams Embercleave to me. Well, well, they still have 6 to cast this, so we gotta let this resolve. I mean, sure. How much damage do we have now? 6. There you go. All right, let's move on to our second game. All right, we're up against another Gruul deck. This one's probably a little bit more aggro. We can keep this. Gallia, the Endless Dance. I think this was the coolest of the snowlands. I really do dig it. Keep them coming. Sure, this is gonna come down. Or are they just gonna blow up the Elder? No. No blockies. That's pretty solid. Right, we play this, we play this. Get in for 1. What are we looking to draw? And what will we discard? I don't think we want to draw anything. Or do we? Yeah, let's draw, see what happens. Field could be good. I think we just get rid of the island though. Next turn we can crash plus field. Or we can hold up, saw it coming. And unsubstantiate. We are going to decline. Maybe discarding that land is gonna come back to bite us in the butt. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. There are other things that we could deal with, but that is not something I want to do. All right. We'll discard the drawbridge. Let there be dragons. I think this dragon's gonna be hard for them to deal with the ward. Probably not attacking with it. Ward 4. So you need a 1 mana deal 5 damage, which I don't think exists. Or brand. Right? Let us draw a card and then unsubstantiate that and attack Or do we just play this? I think we do. This is going to be a nuisance. A very big nuisance. Let's just draw a card. Get a land. Comes into play untapped though, but that's fine. Ooh, okay. That. Sure. All right. Now's the time to leave this unprotected. That, and we can do this or this or this. And they want the mana. Now I think we're gonna do. I kind of want both of these. That resolves. Then unsummon this. Deal damage to me, baby. Or probably exile cards. Dealing damage. So we're racing now. What you're saying. Draw our card. Land. So if they play this, that means each one of these gets to hit harder. Don't really like that. So this is 5 plus 6. This blocks this. I think that's okay. Leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it also leaves them with a blocker. Don't like. All right. Well, maybe my maths was bad there. This. One. Now, if they drew an Ambercleave, they drew an Ambercleave. He's gonna block. There. There. No Embercleave. Right. And turn this into a creature, which means they have to block it. I can, what do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. I can make it exactly 4. Well, I'm gonna do this. That's a good one. Oh, it's not a creature. Do I really want to do this then? Yeah, I gotta get rid of something. Probably that. Now I have counter something 3, and then get rid of something else, sure. What's the play? Torbran. Mm-hmm. Acting with everything. This blocks here. Very risky. But a couple of their direct damage spells to the face. Do they have Snakeskin Veil? If they have Snakeskin Veil, we're dead. What? Ow. Deals 3 damage. Oh, because of Torbran. I see, I see. We do this. This. And we win. Creature lands for the W. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. I'm sorry it's double gruel, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. All right, take care. Have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. From Pisto to myself, or to yourself from myself. Bye for now.